Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome again to another live this morning. And hope you're having a great start to your day. And I'll just wait for a moment or two, as usual, and see how many are coming on with me here this morning. Wendy, good morning, and Andrea, Kathy, and Keith. Keith, I saw your sweater the other day, that leaf sweater. You can't wear that anymore. Mike, Rosa, Sharon, Maureen, good to have you on. Debbie, Chantal, and Sandy, good morning to you. Okay, big crowd coming on. Sandy, hey, Kim, how are you? And Elsie, good to have you guys on with us this morning. Okay, we're going to do some headlines this morning. Denise, Joyce, great to have you on. Len and Judy, Claudette, Eileen, Nick from our staff, and Meredith, good morning to you. Andrea, I'm going to say hi to Andrea and Jerry because they're usually together watching. Brenda and Dora Lee and Marie, and you guys are great. Jeanette from our staff this morning. Okay, Joss, bonjour, Nelly. And I'll come on afterwards and say hi to the rest of you. Okay, great to have you on this morning. I want to hit a headline here that it's sort of a twofold on PPIs. Now, do you know what PPIs are? Proton Pump Inhibitors, okay? So Zantac, Prilosec, Nexium, Prevacid, these are drugs that are PPIs, proton pump inhibitors. I read a statistic yesterday that said that 15 million Americans are on these medications every day. And look, I never tell people to come off medications. I won't do that. But my goal when I was in practice was always to fix the problem. Because proton pump inhibitors don't fix the problem. They suppress acidity, they turn off. In your stomach, you have pumps. And guess what they're pumping out? They're pumping out acid. Okay? And the only place, because we often talk about pH, people are asking me all the time about pH. Doc, what about pH? What about pH? Are foods acidic or whatever? You know, do I want to have an acidic body or alkaline? Well, you want to be slightly alkaline, but you want your stomach. You want your stomach to be highly acidic. Okay? Very acidic. Why? It's a furnace. You want to break down that food. You want to melt it down. The more acidity you have in your stomach, the better it gets your nutrients, and it crushes and breaks the food down so that you can get your nutrients from the food. Think of your stomach as a furnace and just melting that food down. But it needs a lot of acidity to do that. And the problem is, and I know you guys know this, but I'll just say it again, the problem with acid reflux is not that you have too much acidity in your stomach. It's the fact that you don't have enough and your body overreacts to it and you make more acidity and it happens to go up your esophagus, and then you get acid reflux. Very, very, very uncomfortable. And if I've lost you here, just understand that somehow we're having some technical difficulties. I've been really working on it to try and clear it up. Hopefully you heard me and I might have just froze up. So let's just see what happens, okay? And I hope I don't have to start over again like yesterday. Okay, so Now, here's the headlines on these PPIs, like Nexium and Prilosec, Zantac, Prevacid. There's a twofold problem with them, okay, generally in the headlines. And there are two headlines that came out this week. One, they actually pulled Zantac back in April of 2020, and because they said they had to take it off the market. Can you imagine? They had to pull it back, recall all of them, because they test them for what they call NDMA. Here's what the word is: nitrosodimethylamine. Just call it NDMA. Okay, NDMA. So they called them because this is carcinogenic. So that was one issue. And I did a little bit of a deep dive to go, what exactly, why, like it wouldn't come out of the manufacturing plant. I'm sure they have to test these to see if that NDMA is, they would check the levels before even putting the drug out on the market. And they do. The problem is twofold, because I went in and I did a sort of a deep dive. Why would they pull Zantac? I mean, millions and millions of dollars worth and pull them off. The FDA said they're all coming back because what they did is they tested them. And with storage, not at the right temperature, over a period of time. And secondly, if you leave it in a hot car, for example, they started testing that kind of thing. And guess what? Now you have carcinogens that are showing up in the drugs. And then they tested, there are two other migraine drugs, antihistamines, common ones off the shelf, and blood pressure drugs. Okay? So if you're on these medications, make sure you store them properly. Store them properly and never in heat. Any kind, don't leave them in heat at all. That was one of the factors. Okay. But I want to spend some more time on the PPIs, okay? Because I want you to fix the problem. Apparently last year, again, when I was studying this, 15,000 lawsuits last year alone against PPIs. And the side effects. There was 15,000 lawsuits last year against these pharmaceutical companies who make Zantac and Prevacid and Nexium. The purple pill. No, but seriously. Okay? And the reason is because there are a lot of side effects of this. Okay? And I'm not even, they're showing that there's increased risk. Here's the side effects that they sued the pharmaceutical companies with, okay? And I'm going to talk to you about something else. Increase in stomach cancer, increase in kidney disease, increase in fractures, increase in heart attacks and heart failure by 25% on these meds. Never mind the carcinogenics. People who take these antacids to suppress acid have a much greater risk of stomach cancer. You suppress the acid, it gives you relief. People have been on these things for years and years and years. They say, Doc, if I don't take them, I get heartburn. Yeah, you got to be careful, though. You got to be careful. Fix the problem. Fix the problem of low acidity. And I will help you with that. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Okay? But increased risk of stomach cancer, increased risk of kidney disease, increased risk of fractures, increased risk of osteoporosis, and heart attacks. Now, one of the things that PPIs do, when you suppress that acidity, you know one of the things that happens? And I don't think you'll ever hear this anywhere else. It changes your microbiome. It's one of the causes of leaky gut. We always think, okay, in the gut, it happens in the gut. You know, antibiotics, we talked about that in the past. We've talked about things that cause, a bad diet and stress. Cortisol can stress. You're like this all the time in your gut. In your gut, you get a permeability, you get leaky gut. But even antacids, if you go up in the upper GI and you suppress the acidity, that can cause leaky gut. Here's another thing it causes. If you don't have the right amount of acidity in your stomach, you are inviting yeast to flourish. Yeast flourishes. If you have good acidity in your stomach will kill yeast. If you have good acidity, by the way, you will kill H. pylori. Everybody has H. pylori. It's a bacteria in your stomach. Everybody has it. It really is. It's just like using the example of everybody has herpes virus. You got the chicken pox, you got the virus. Oh, doc, I never get cold sores. I never got shingles. I never got anything like that. I know, but it's just because it's dormant. It's like H. pylori in the stomach. Oh, doc, I got H. pylori. Yeah, well, you always had it. Problem is, if your acidity in your stomach isn't good, that bacteria will take over and multiply. It'll have babies in your stomach. This is why acidity in the stomach is essential. You want to be very acidic in the stomach. If you have acid reflux, you don't have enough acidity. Your body overcompensates. That's how it works. Body is fearfully and wonderfully made. Your body is smart. Oh, you don't have enough acidity? Let me help. And the proton pumps in your stomach start creating more. The problem with that is it goes up the esophagus. And then, oh, I got heartburn. It's no fun. Nope, it's no fun. Absolutely no fun. Okay? So, guys, very, 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 very important that you work on your stomach. If you've been having to take these meds, forget that they can cause cancer. Forget this is what the headline said. When you have all these side effects that the pharmaceutical companies have been sued for, from cancer, stomach cancer, imagine, and kidney disease, and fractures. Pretty serious. Your body is meant to have high acidity right in that stomach. So what do you do if you have acid reflux? One of the reasons that I did the reset, because one of the ways your body reacts is when your insulin is too high. High circulating insulin. You're a carboholic. That will affect the acidity in your stomach. And one of the side effects of insulin resistance, high circulating insulin, and that's always food, guys. It's not fried food. Oh, Doc, when I eat fried foods, look, I'm not telling you to live on fried foods. All I'm saying to you is it's the carbs. It's insulin. 90% of people that have trouble with acid reflux are really a pre-diabetic and they just don't know it. Their insulin's too high. It's amazing when you get off the carbohydrates, it fixes the problem. Thousands and thousands over the years. I mean it. Lay off the carbs. Okay, try it. I said, trust me. You know what the second reason is? One of the signs of acid reflux? You're dehydrated. Too many carbs and not enough water. You know me, vitamin W, wada, 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 wada. You're like planet Earth. You're 75% water. You better replace it and quit being a big baby. Because so many people don't like water. I said, I didn't say you had to like it. You got to drink it. And only water is water. It takes its own route. Water, imagine. You like coffee? So do I. But it doesn't take the same route directly to your bloodstream that water does. One of the signs that you're dehydrated is acid reflux. Oh, Doc, I started drinking water. It's a habit. How much a day? I'm giving you my clinical experience of 46 plus years. You know what it is? It's 2 liters a day, and for my American friends, that's 64 ounces. 64 ounces. That's what you need. That's just clinical experience. You know, you'll get on the internet and, some will tell you, you don't need water and, you need this much water. And I'm just giving you what I found over the years to be, and you know what? I'm sticking to it. Because I found that that's the amount generally that people need. Some need a little bit more, some need maybe a little bit less, but not much. It's a pretty accurate, in my opinion, a pretty accurate amount of water. So what is that? It's 2 liters a day. 64 ounces of water a day. And I don't care, guys. You want to have Perrier? Okay, but that's not water. Okay? You like Perrier? I like Perrier. I do. I call it my Christian beer. Okay? I like it. But I don't substitute Perrier or San Pellegrino or whatever, which one. A lot of people like carbonated water, but it's not water. As soon as they carbonate it, it's acidic. So I get up in the morning, guys, I'm telling you, you want to know what Dr. Martin does every morning, 7 days a week? I'm thinking coffee, but I'm drinking water. Because that's all I can think of is coffee. Oh, new study came out on coffee. Because I always get pushback on coffee. But a new study came out, headline is this: coffee decreases your risk of heart attack. Not tea, coffee. Isn't that good? But okay, so one of the symptoms, one of the causes, of why you could have acid reflux, you got to look at these 2 major things. One is insulin, change your diet. The other one is dehydration. Oh, Doc, I drink water. Maybe not enough. Maybe not enough. And juice isn't water, and tea isn't water, and coffee isn't water, and Perrier isn't water. It isn't. I don't care. I know coffee's 95% water. It don't matter. It takes a different route. Your body does not take it as hydration. Only water is hydrating. Okay? Got it? Just accept it, because I know it to be true. Okay. Now, I want you to think. I really do. Okay. Okay. Now, this is not what they're telling you. And I told you about the lawsuits, but let me tell you about the side effects of having low acidity. Okay. The side effects of having low acidity. One, numero uno, is low levels of B12. Well, if you're a vegan or a vegetarian and you live on chicken and salad, you're not getting B12 anyways. But so many people are low in B12 because, first of all, they don't have good stomach acidity. And if you're on any kind of medication, any medication, it disrupts the absorption of B12. That is an essential vitamin. When people talk about B vitamins, I talk about B12. Not that I'm not interested in the other B vitamins, but if you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, you're getting all the B vitamins you need. And some need to supplement with B12, because if you got any trouble with your stomach acidity, if you're on any medication, especially proton pump inhibitors, you are low in B12. It's as simple as that. Oh, doc, my B12 levels are normal. I don't care. You're still low, because normal isn't good. Optimized is good in B12. Your body don't work properly without B12. We've gone over that many, 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 many times. You know what the problem with B12? You know what the problem with B12 is? It's like a teenager can be very, very, what do you say about when you go through your teenage, you moms that got teenagers, what are they? They're a pain. Because they figure they know it all. It's funny, as they get older, they realize, oh, geez, I didn't know anything. No, but B12 is like a teenager. It's finicky. It's a large structure vitamin. First of all, it's very large. Molecularly, B12 is a huge, huge supplement, okay? And at the best of times, you're going to have trouble absorbing B12, even if you eat it from meat, red meat, okay? It's just the way it's built. And if you don't have what they call the intrinsic factor, you're not even breaking it down. You got stomach problems. You're usually not breaking B12 down. That's why the best way to take B12 is in a sublingual form. Okay? Here's another thing you're not going to absorb. Calcium. That's why so many with stomach problems, they get osteoporosis. They don't absorb calcium. I don't want you to take a calcium supplement, by the way. I'm not into that. I want you to eat your calcium. Eggs, meat, and cheese. That's why I love dairy too, guys. Somebody was saying the other day that Tom Brady, who won the Super Bowl, he eats really well, and he doesn't have any sugar, and he's a low carb guy, big time, eats a lot of meat, but he doesn't eat dairy. Well, maybe he can't absorb dairy. Maybe he has trouble with dairy. A lot of people, and I would tell him, yeah, I don't like milk either, but cheese, that's why I say cheese, guys, and cream. And I talked to you about that last week, the importance of CLA. It's a conjugated linoleic acid, which is in dairy, and it's very good for you, and vitamin K2 in butter and cheese. That takes calcium, by the way, that you're eating and puts it inside your bones, okay? And so people that have trouble with their stomach are low in B12, they're low in calcium a lot of times, and they're low in magnesium And they're often anemic. They're often anemic. Well, see, B12 is a big factor in anemia. A lot of people think it's iron, but it's more B12 than iron. I know docs like to give you iron if you're anemic, and I get that. I'd rather you eat your iron with steak and take a B12 sublingual, let it melt in your mouth, supplement. Big time. Okay? And here's something interesting when they look at PPIs and they look at people that have low acidity. This is something that came out, actually. It was a little headline that was sort of hidden. I don't even think, I can't remember if I talked about it in the past or not, but people that are on PPIs, by the way, are much more susceptible to COVID. That was sort of a hidden headline. I don't know if it came out of the United Kingdom. I don't remember. But it suppresses your immune system. You see, even your stomach. That's what I was talking to you about earlier. When your acidity is not good, you develop even more of a yeast or a fungal infection. Guys, that can get into you. It spreads. Can get into your lungs. It can make you much more susceptible to pneumonia and things like that. We talked about that. The GI in your immune system. It's part of it. It's a big part of it. You want to be able to break that food down properly. Your stomach is the furnace for bacteria and viruses too. If your stomach's acidity is good, your bacteria, bad bacteria, don't get past it. And if you're suppressing it artificially with a medication, you're just putting a Band-Aid on it. You're not fixing it. So let's say you have acid reflux. What do? Okay, let's finish up with this. What do you do if you got acid reflux? Now, I'm not telling you to come off your medication, okay? So don't say Dr. Martin said come off your medication. I said, here's what I am saying. Let's try and get you off your medication. Okay? Because if it's gone, then you don't need it anymore. Okay? So I'm not saying like go cold turkey or whatever. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying is let's get to the root of the problem. So number one, get your insulin down. Do the reset. There's no better way to do it. To get your insulin down, you will get it down, man. I was telling the students yesterday at the University of Tennessee, Dr. McEwen, a good friend, has asked me to do a couple of little, classes with her classes at the University of Tennessee. And yesterday I was telling them that, insulin, it's a big issue. It's behind metabolic syndrome. Insulin, it's food. Lower your carbs. It's amazing how many people digestively, including the upper GI, including the stomach, how many times they've been able to cure their acid reflux when they lowered their insulin. They lowered their insulin. The reset, not just for weight loss. It's the best weight loss program on the planet, in my opinion. It's the best because it's not that you're just lowering your carbs. You're replacing carbs with high density, high nutrient foods. Important. Very important. Okay, now, water. Make sure you're not dehydrated. A lot of people, we don't have a little red light on our head that says you need water, You need water. Just trust me. You need 2 liters. Trust me. Start. Get a habit. I know a lot of you are preaching to the choir. You already do that, and a lot of times it's stubborn men. Ooh, I don't like water, Dr. Martin. I don't care I didn't say you had to like it. I said you have to drink it. Pretend it's a medication then if you have to, until you get used to it. Then you will like it. Your body will scream for it. You have to turn the thirst mechanism on. Most people, it's shut off. They don't even know they're dehydrated. They get it in different symptoms, and one of the biggest ones is acid reflux. Well, there you go. Stop. You got acid reflux? Stop eating at night. This works for your gallbladder. This works for your liver. This works for your stomach. Stop eating. Have your supper and then stop. If you can go past your breakfast, well, that will help too. One of the things about intermittent fasting, they call it intermittent fasting. I've been talking about this for 40-something years. Don't eat at night. You got a hiatus hernia? Don't eat at night. You got gallbladder problems? Don't eat at night. Give your GI a big time break. Oh, Doc, I gotta have a little snack. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you have acid reflux, let that stomach. It's amazing how you can turn your gut around. Gallbladder, I hear it every day. Women, they don't use their gallbladder. And then they use it. And no wonder they got stones in there, because they never used it. But one of the things, don't eat at night. It gives your gallbladder a rest too. Okay? Especially when you first introduce fatty foods. Your gallbladder's going, holy jumping. You ever have this happen? You didn't do any exercise or whatever, then you go exercise, and the next day you're, ugh. Has that ever hurt? Holy moly, why do you think the gyms are full in January and empty in February? I didn't know it was gonna hurt. It hurts. It's like the gallbladder. Well, you didn't use it for years because you were eating chicken and salad. And then all of a sudden your gallbladder gets used. It goes, holy crap. Your gallbladder is a smooth muscle, by the way. It's a little pouch, but it's made up of smooth muscle. Now you're exercising it. Oh, how come you haven't used me in the last 10 years? Ladies. And I blame ladies because they're the ones who get all the gallbladder problems. Men, they get acid reflux because their insulin's too high. Okay, so stop eating at night, go on the low carb. Absolutely, you need help with your stomach, and that's why I love digestive enzymes, okay? I'm big on what we call pancreatic enzymes, digestive enzymes. Lipase, amylase, protease, okay? All these things, they help. I take digestive enzymes every day, okay? I don't have acid reflux, but I don't want to get it, and I want to break food down, because as you get older, it's harder you don't have as much acidity when you're older in your stomach. Who said golden years are great? Okay? So drink water, cut your carbs, stop eating at night, take digestive enzymes. You can take a little bit of apple cider vinegar if you want. That's very acidic, but it helps. I like balsamic vinegar too. Just a little bit of balsamic vinegar before your meal, okay? It helps. Okay. So, tomorrow, by the way, just going to make an announcement. Tomorrow, and for the next few weeks, I am going to do Thursday mornings. So I know I usually do Thursday afternoons, and we'll probably get back to that. But for the next few weeks, I plan on doing Thursday mornings podcast. So I'll be on tomorrow morning, Lord Willing. Friday is question and answer. Okay, so send in your questions. I'll try and answer all the questions on Friday that you have. You know, we answer them in the group, and a lot of times you answer them in the Martin Clinic Facebook group. If your friends are not part of that, your family's not part of that, make them part of that group. They're welcome to come in, okay? No, we really appreciate it. That's a great community there, okay? So love you guys. Talk to you soon.